Well, this is a socialist dream, isn't it, net zero, because it epitomises centralised control, government interference in daily life, and redistribution as well. And when an idea becomes immune to scrutiny, it is precisely then that more scrutiny is needed. And this definitely applies in the case of Britain's rush to net zero, because in our haste, we risk undermining our economy, our energy security, and ultimately the resilience that we all need to face the future. Caring for the environment is necessary, reducing pollution is noble, innovation in energy is essential, but pursuing an inflexible target at any cost without regard for consequences is madness. So firstly, take the economic reality. The UK is attempting one of the most rapid energy transitions ever undertaken by an advanced economy. Entire industries are being reshaped or phased out, and energy systems built over decades are being dismantled in a matter of years. And who bears the cost? It's not an abstract. It's households that face rising energy bills, businesses struggling with higher operating costs, manufacturers deciding whether to stay in Britain or to relocate to countries with cheaper, more reliable energy. The reality is that choices made by this government are continuing to hollow out our industrial base, not because we lack skill or ambition, Madam Deputy Speaker, but because energy, which is the lifeblood of industry, has become prohibitively costly. Energy security is not a theoretical concept. It is the difference between stability and vulnerability. It's the ability to heat our homes, power hospitals, keep the economy running, no matter what is happening anywhere else in the world. Yet at this moment, when we should be strengthening our domestic energy supply, we are choosing to restrict it, which brings us perfectly to the North Sea. Because the North Sea is one of the UK's greatest strategic assets. Beneath the waters lie opportunity, reserves of natural gas that could provide reliable domestic energy for years to come. Yet the government is choosing to turn away from it. And the argument often given is that extracting more gas contradicts our climate commitments and that it locks us into the past. But it overlooks a crucial fact that the UK will continue to be dependent on fossil fuels for decades to come. And that's where the comparison with Norway becomes so instructive, because Norway is often held up as a leader in environmental responsibility, and they've chosen not to turn their back on North Sea resources. They've done the opposite. They've increased gas extraction, recognised both the economic value and the strategic importance of domestic supply. And Norway understands something that we would do well to remember, that energy independence is not at odds with environmental ambition. It underpins it. So the UK risks increasing dependence on imports, even as domestic resources remain available. Madam Deputy Speaker, it's not just about energy, it's also about jobs. It's about public finances, something that the government knows only too well following their economic choices. The North Sea has long been a vital source of revenue for the Treasury, billions of pounds that supports public services, infrastructure, and analysis by Offshore Energy UK says that there is £165 billion of estimated economic value in the North Sea should the government muster the political will to seize it. I won't give way any further. To accelerate the decline of that sector without a fully viable replacement is not just economically risky, it is fiscally short-sighted. And at the same time, we must consider the livelihoods tied to the industry. This point has been stressed by colleagues across the House. Tens of thousands of skilled workers depend directly or indirectly on oil and gas. They're not abstract numbers. They're engineers, they're technicians, supply chain workers, families, and more importantly, whole communities. And if we move too quickly without a realistic transition plan, we don't simply phase out an industry, we create unemployment, we lose expertise, we weaken entire regions. And that is happening right now. This is not just a theoretical concern, it is raised by those who are closest to the issue. Trade union leaders have been clear. The General Secretary of the GMB has described the government's stance on oil and gas as madness. Unite the Union has warned plainly that policies will put jobs at risk. Even Jürgen Mayer said that extracting more gas and oil from the North Sea would boost jobs and tax revenues. And so these are not voices that the government usually say are opposed to progress. These are voices that represent working people. So why on earth are the government choosing to ignore them? And we've just got to consider, Madam Deputy Speaker, the global context. The UK accounts for a relatively small share of global emissions. Even if we were to reach net zero tomorrow, the impact on global temperatures would be limited. And meanwhile, major economies that compete with us continue to rely heavily on fossil fuels as they balance growth, development and transition. That's why we have to get the balance right. True leadership from the government lies not in symbolic gestures, but in practical solutions that can be adopted globally. This, Madam Deputy Speaker, is why the pursuit of net zero, as is currently framed, risks becoming an exercise in self-imposed constraint, one that weakens our economy, compromises our energy security, it threatens jobs, it will reduce vital tax revenues, and it will lower living standards for all while delivering limited benefit.
Yeah.